Hi everyone, this will be my last video for tonight as it's getting a little bit late. It's after 12. So I'm back on YouTube after a while. I finally got some software that I can use for my webcam. It seems to be working quite well. So I guess it's kind of a boring video because it's in English. But I want to talk a bit about some of my languages. In fact, actually, I might leave that for the next video. In this video, I just want to talk about one language. I made some videos tonight in German and Italian about uh, my experiences learning those languages and what I've done with them and what I want to do, what I plan to do in the future, and that kind of thing. If you don't know Italian or German, that's basically what I was talking about. Um, if you do, go and check out those videos and you can leave me some feedback, please, constructive criticism. Okay, so I want to talk a bit about this language. Sorry, let me position it. I don't know if you can see it, but this language is called Georgian. Some of you will know about this language, of course. Anybody in the language community will probably know about it. If you're not, you probably won't know about this language or this country. So, Georgian. It was kind of hard for me to find this book. I actually bought it in Australia in a foreign language bookshop, so I was very pleased. Okay, I was really happy when I found it because, um, yeah, there aren't many Georgian books around for English speakers. So, let me talk a bit about this language. Um, Georgian is a Georgia, the country, is a country, a very small place. It's between Turkey. So Georgia is a country. It does not belong to any other country now. It's between Turkey and Russia. That's where you find Georgia. It also borders Armenia and Azerbaijan, another country. And it's not too far from Iran. I think it borders Iran too, I'm not sure. Anyway, so it's in that part of the world and it's kind of tucked away and hidden. Um, it actually was part of the Soviet Union, part of Russia at that time, like many countries. For example, like many countries like Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, these Stan countries, as well as Ukraine, Belarus, um, and uh, and some other countries, Tajikistan. These countries were all part of the Soviet Union. Some of these countries, like Ukraine and Belarus, spoke a Slavic language. So, in other words, their language was already similar to Russian. Not the same, but similar. Whereas countries like Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Azerbaijan, all these languages are not, and Georgian, of course, not like Russian. But Russian was the dominant language because of the massive, a very big empire they had. So it kind of took over the small languages like Georgian or Kazakh or Uzbek or Tajik. And Russian became the dominant language, the main language that people spoke. And in many cases, it was forbidden to speak the language. Many languages were suppressed, or their cultures were suppressed during the time of the Soviet Union. What happened was when the Soviet Union, I don't know much about history. Basically, when the Soviet Union fell in 1991 or whenever it was, some of these countries started to get their culture back and their language back successfully. And Georgian is one of them. Georgian is very unique. It borders Turkey and Russia, and Iran, but it's not in any way related to these languages. It's not like Russian. It's not like Turkish. It's not like other languages around that region. It's not like Armenian either. Georgian is what we call a language isolate. So it has no known relatives. It's located in the Caucasus, So it's a Caucasian language from the Caucasian family. And even the languages in that family really bear little or no resemblance to Georgian. So there's not much of a connection between them. If any, they may not even be related. So Georgian kind of stands on its own, and it's always, ever since I found out about this country, it's always been very fascinating to me. I'm always interested in languages that nobody knows about and countries nobody knows about. I think Georgian is a very overlooked language, and finding language materials for Georgian in English is very difficult. And there's only apparently one very good book or reasonable book, and that's this one. It's called Beginner's Georgian by Dodona Kiziria. I recommend this book if you're interested in learning Georgian. I've listened to the first couple lessons, and there is audio, of course. So we have it comes with the CD and dialogue in the book, so you can follow and some vocabulary. So you have the dialogue, and then after there will be the vocabulary section, so you can always review the vocab. It's really, really helpful. You should always have audio with any language book that you buy, I think, especially a language like this, where the sounds are very different. It's a very exotic kind of language in the sense that it's different to English or any other major language like Russian or German or French or Chinese. So you really got to get audio with that. I haven't really, not really started to learn Georgian. I have not committed to this language yet, but I do at some stage want to learn some Georgian, and I do want to visit Georgia. I plan to do that in the very near future, actually. I'm very fascinated by this country. I've heard the language on YouTube, um, actually spoken on YouTube and stuff like that. So, Georgia, no, I'm not talking about Georgia, the state in the USA. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a country in the Caucasus. In It's in Europe. It kind of borders Europe, and it's kind of near Central Asia as well. It's very interesting. But the culture, from what I know, the culture of the people is very, very European. Georgia was one of the first to convert to Christianity in that, Armenia being the first country. I think Georgia was second. So there is a strong sense of Christianity in Georgia, but also many people from other countries live there: Armenians and Jews and Russians and Germans, Greeks, many minorities there, and also Muslims. So it's a very diverse and tolerant kind of society, which it's been that way for a long time. And the capital is called Tbilisi or Tbilisi. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but I think that's right. Tbilisi. Sometimes called Tiflis. Tiflis in some other languages. And this is a beautiful capital city from what I've seen in pictures and videos. And I really am very curious as to why nobody knows about this place. So that's a little video about Georgia. I'll make more in the future. If I get time, I might maybe even try to make a video in Georgian, like a short introduction video or something. I definitely do plan on exploring this language more. I'm very, very curious about it, and I think that it will be a very interesting experience. People say that the people in Georgia are very, very friendly and hospitable and welcoming to foreigners. So I think that's going to be interesting. Um, yes, thank you very much, and I will be in touch. I'm going to make some more videos about Georgian, but also about other languages. I might make a video about Russian and what my plans for that language. Also German, I've studied German for a long time, and I plan to continue with my German studies and keep it up and basically not forget it, as I find myself enjoying it a lot more now, more and more. So yeah, thank you very much, and if any questions or comments, please let me know. Thank you.